Leeds United 4, Middlesbrough 3 in a game which I feel like I'm still recovering from and catching my breath from. One of the most stressful games I have seen in a long time. But Leeds are back to winning ways. We needed this. We absolutely needed this today. I think we'd not scored in the last three, or have we scored one goal in the last three games? To then score four today is really good. Defensively, we were quite poor throughout. I'm going to jump in and do a bit of an analysis on the goals and the game overall, but we were quite poor throughout. Middlesbrough, I thought, actually had a fantastic game. I think if I was a Middlesbrough fan right now, I'd be looking at next season, the recent form that they've been on, and they gave us one of the toughest tests of the season. I'd be really happy with that. They were quite unlucky to come out with 0 points. We'll start with that first Middlesbrough goal. What a mess, really. Firpo lost his man. Mez could have come out a little bit quicker to claim the ball, and it just ends up being bundled into the back of the net. But, you know, this is how it goes. If your defence is a little bit open, you're going to concede goals like that. And then we go on to Leeds. Rutter with some fantastic play to win a penalty. Rutter throughout this game was so bipolar is the only way I can describe him. Sometimes it was keep the ball challenge. He literally could not keep the ball, looked really weak for a couple challenges from the Middlesbrough players, but for the penalty, won a fantastic penalty. Then Somerville steps up, takes it. You know, one thing that I ask of players when they're taking a penalty, power. Hit it quite hard. Keeper, it's going to be really difficult from that distance for them to save it. Somerville did that. Hits the side net in. Keeper was close to it, but if you hit it with power to the side like he did, it's practically impossible for the keeper to save it. So at this point, I'm thinking, yes, let's go. And then Firpo whips in an unbelievable cross for Bamford to hip it into the net. We love Bamford scoring against Middlesbrough. There is not much more I could ask for, seriously. But, 2-1 at this point. Firpo has been one of our top assisters this year in 2024. Maybe even the top assister, because he got one later on in the game, which I'll go on to. But Bamford scores. Happy for him. Happy it's against Middlesbrough. But then again, it comes back. I'm moving quickly because this game moved so quickly. I didn't know where to stand. Poor defending to make it 2-2. Rutter gave the ball away really easily. Looked weak. Good shot again from Middlesbrough. A great little turn from their striker. Sorry, I can't quite remember his name. But again, could Mesley have done better? Possibly. It's hard to say. But Borough were on the front foot after the penalty, to be honest. And they were, as I said, they were on the front foot for a lot of this game. But after the penalty, it's like we just took the foot off the gas. And then Middlesbrough managed to come up. You got to shoot. They got the goal. Mez got a hand to it. I think this one, the first goal, he probably should have come out quicker. Just got a fingertip to it, I believe, which pushed it out. This one just got a fingertip to it. There's going to be question marks around him because the amount of shots he's conceded recently has been... It's been quite poor in comparison to a lot of other keepers in the Championship. But I do think that those are two goals that any keeper could concede. So I'm not going to dig him out too much. It seemed like our attackers in this phase of the game were giving the ball away really, really easily. And that was a little bit of a gripe. Rutter kept doing it. Nonto did it a couple of times. Bamford actually held it up really well this game. So I can't complain at him too much for that. And then we move on to Nonto's goal. Middlesbrough fans, I'm sorry. This was offside. I'm not really sorry. It meant we won the game. But it was definitely 110% offside. It looked as if Bamford was blocking the linesman's view, so he wouldn't have been able to see that Nonto was actually offside. Great passing between Gray and Somerville. And a particularly great pass for Somerville to thread it through to Nonto, who finished it off. And then you're going into half-time. You're thinking, all right, 3-2. Still feeling stressed, but, you know, it is what it is. We've got the victory in the bag at the minute. And then we come out in the second half. For the first 15 minutes, we literally just sat back and let Middlesbrough have the ball. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? Really, really strange play. But towards the 65th, 70th minute, starts to click. You can see what we're doing. We're starting to play a bit of counter-attacking football, which we've done at points throughout the season, but we usually try build up like we did for the second goal. But the counter-attacking football was working fantastically well. The Magic Man Firpo pops up again, pretty much playing centre forward with an amazing assist for Somerville. Somerville still had a lot to do, but the fact that Firpo's in the centre, that high up the pitch for Leeds' third goal, is absolutely mental for a left-back. Threads a nice little pass through. And the commentators touched on it in the game. I don't know how many times defenders are going to let Somerville cut in onto his right foot, because he has been one of the most lethal finishers in the Championship this season. I think he's third top scorer. How can you keep allowing him to do that? I know it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but that's got to be one thing that's drilled into players every time they play Leeds United. Don't let Somerville cut in onto his right foot and bang a shot in. That's exactly what he did. And it must be the 8th or 9th time we've seen him do this season. That one against Watford was special. Obviously, that game didn't end up in glory, but that was a banger of a goal. And then this one just curled it in. He had an opportunity later in the game as well, with some amazing passing play from a corner, which, by the way, we are awful at set pieces, so it was quite nice to see a couple passes on the edge of the box. Ampadu threaded through a lovely ball to Somerville, which he nearly finished off. But yeah, a great finish from him for that goal. We love to see it. As I mentioned earlier, it's good to see us actually scoring some goals. This has got to breed confidence going down to QPR and then leading into Southampton at home. We'll touch on the upcoming fixtures in a second. A great header to make it 4-3. There's not much to be said about it other than it seemed like Ampadu and Rodon were quite comfortable in that we had control of the game in that moment. We were just passing it around nicely, hitting them on the counter-attack. We had a couple of chances in between that, and it just looked like they were snoozing for a second. Nice little ball over, Middlesbrough, header. Mez, again, it's maybe poor positioning, but I'm not going to dig him out in a game where we've ended up winning. Couple suspect moments, but no howlers, in my opinion. From 4-3 was one of the most stressful periods of this season. Middlesbrough absolutely peppered our box. Not our goal, fortunately. They didn't actually manage to get too many shots off, but they were all over us. Quick throw-ins, quick corners, boom, 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 on to the next one. And do you know what? I really respect that from a team. When a team's going all out to win a game, keepers coming up, they don't have too much to play for, but I like that. You want to try win. You want to try throw us off our game, our automatic promotion spot. And I've got a question for maybe anyone watching. I feel like Middlesbrough fans force a bit of a rivalry with Leeds, and I don't really know why that is. If anything, as a Leeds fan, I actually don't mind Middlesbrough. I would probably prefer them to do well over half the other clubs in the Championship. And I don't know where this rhetoric that we are rivals has come from. I feel like maybe Middlesbrough doesn't have a proper rival, so they just try rival against us, boys up in Newcastle and Sunderland a little bit. But I don't really get it, to be honest, because I think most people in Leeds, well, at least myself, couldn't give the slightest shit about Middlesbrough in terms of a rivalry. If anything, I think they're a pretty decent club. But yeah, mental last 10, 15 minutes, they were all over us. And as I said, they were unlucky to come out with 0 points from that game. I think if they can continue this form into next season, I don't think the teams coming down will do as well as Leeds, Leicester and Southampton have this year. I could see Sheffield dropping off, although they are a pretty solid Championship club whenever they come down. Luton, it's hard to say. You'd expect Barkley to go. Will a couple of their other players leave? Probably. So I feel like the Championship might be a little bit easier for some of the clubs currently in there to challenge for top 6 / All-Mic promotion. And Middlesbrough looked really good today, and that was without Greenwood and Ayling as well, as they're on loan from Leeds. So I could see them doing well next season. I really could. As for us, fantastic to hold on to the lead. That is what we need. We need to be up in a game like that, pressure's on, and the defence holds out for that last 10 minutes. That should breed confidence. I've said that a couple times now, but it really should help the team push on and be able to go into QPR and feel happy, feel like we can go get a good result. But it's going to be impossible to predict these last couple of games in the Championship. I might have to do a quick Championship prediction video later on tonight or tomorrow, because I kind of want to look at all the fixtures that every team has got and actually predict who's going to win what, where they're going to end up at the end of the season. It's fucking tough. The Championship is such an amazing league. I advocate for it all the time, even when Leeds were in the Premier League for that short stint. I always advocate that the Championship is one of the top 10 leagues in the world. In my opinion, there's only, obviously, French, Spanish, Italian, Premier League, Dutch League. Apart from that, I think most Championship teams, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton this year, I reckon would have a good game against anyone in the Turkish League or the Greek League, etc. Might be naive, but I genuinely think that we would. But tomorrow there's another huge game in a championship promotion race, and it is Leicester against Southampton. We're quite lucky, really, that Southampton lost against Cardiff the other day, because otherwise they'd be right back in there. And they're still in with an outside chance, but I'm hoping that Southampton manage to beat Leicester tomorrow, because Leicester's form over the last 10 games has been really, really poor. And I have a feeling that they might actually be the ones that slip up in the end. I'm praying it is. I'm praying it's us in Ipswich that go up automatically. If you've seen my other match reactions, you're going to have heard me say that a few times. But I hope that Southampton pick up 3 points tomorrow and then lose the next game, so the finishing fixture against us doesn't mean so much and they have to rest some players going into the playoffs. Very, very wishful thinking, I know. But I just don't want Leicester to go up, to be honest. I'm hoping that pressure's been relieved a little bit from Leeds now. QPR is a very, very winnable game. Tough place to go down to. It's a team we should be beating. Although a lot of the time when I say that, we don't end up winning. I'm going to go for a 3-1 against QPR. I think we'll concede, but I think we'll win 3-1. I think our attack should do very well against their defence. But anyway, let me know what you thought of that game. I feel like I'm actually still catching my breath. As a neutral, that must have been a fantastic fixture to have watched, but where do we go from here? I even put a message in the group chat when we conceded saying we're actually watching Leeds fall apart again. And now I'm on a sky high. This is what football is about, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Come back for another reaction video, maybe some championship predictions as well in the next couple of days. Please like, subscribe, do all of that stuff, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks.